Hi there, Damien here from the other side, wishing you and your family a happy new year. We're back for 2025 on January 24th. Until then, we're presenting our best segments from last year and hope you enjoy this one. Just a warning that this next story is not appropriate for kids, so if you have little ones around, it might be best right now to switch off and return later. This happened on Wednesday.
Good afternoon. We're bringing you breaking news. Jared Hayne has just walked free after winning an appeal to have his conviction overturned for raping a woman in Newcastle in 2018. These pictures just into the newsroom showing the former NRL star leaving the correctional facility in Lidcombe, where he'd been serving a term of 4 years and 9 months for sexually assaulting a woman. Those convictions were quashed when he won the appeal this morning. Now he's been granted bail.
That's how 7 News reported the latest chapter in the 6-year saga of football star Jared Hayne's experience with the New South Wales criminal justice system. On September 30, 2018, the NRL superstar paid $550 for a cab after a Bucks weekend to take him to a woman's house in Newcastle. He'd been texting with this woman on Instagram for a fortnight before he decided to go to her house. He was only there for 46 minutes. It was their first meeting, but he allegedly left her with injuries to her genitals after having digital and oral sex with her in her bedroom. There was blood on her bedspread. In his trial, the court heard Hayne forcibly kiss the woman, pushed her head into a pillow, then pulled off her jeans before sexually assaulting her, despite the woman saying no and stop. But like so many sexual assault cases, it's a he said, she said, because nobody else was in the room, of course. And Mr. Hayne's version is that the woman kissed him back and stood up before taking off her own pants. He was arrested 2 months later in November 2018. It took 2 years to go to trial. We don't do timely justice in this country anymore. We make innocent people suffer and sweat, and the legal elites don't seem to care too much about that anymore. It's too bad. And in December 2020, the first trial ended in a hung jury after 2 days of deliberation. 3 months later, trial number 2 happens, and Hayne is found guilty of 2 counts of sexual intercourse without consent. Now, sexual intercourse is defined as that digital and oral intercourse that we were talking about earlier, okay? So he was found guilty of 2 counts of sexual intercourse without consent. He was found not guilty of the original charges of aggravated sexual assault and inflicting actual bodily harm. Now, a full year later, in April 2022, he wins his first appeal against the convictions in the second trial. But the New South Wales Court of Criminal Appeal ordered another retrial, and they let him out on bail in the interim. Then another full year later, in May last year, 2023, he was convicted for the second time. The conviction this time was for digital and oral sexual assault, and he cops 4 years and 9 months jail. He appeals again, as you would. This takes almost another full year to be heard, and this second appeal was on 3 points: that the original verdicts weren't supported by evidence at the trial and were therefore unreasonable, that the trial judge was wrong in not making the accuser give evidence about another interaction that she had with a man that she messaged the same day as the alleged Hayne attack, and 3, that the trial judge, Graham Turnbull's ruling, resulted in a miscarriage of justice. The appeals court upheld number 2 and number 3, but not number 1. Now, let's just get clear on what those text messages that the woman didn't have to give evidence about actually were. Hayne's lawyer, Tim Game, said that these messages were deleted by the woman from her phone and showed that the woman was consenting to the sex that she had with Hayne. Mr. Game said a miscarriage of justice had occurred when District Court ruled that the defence could not cross-examine the witness on those deleted or undisclosed messages. On Wednesday, Hayne won that appeal and he was immediately released from jail. Here's how Channel 9 reported the news that day.
The appeal centred around 3 grounds. 1 failed, but 2 were successful. They related to Judge Graham Turnbull's refusal to allow Hayne's lawyers to question the complainant about deleted messages on the day of and after the alleged assault. One of them read, "If those messages get out, I'm and he will get off."
So Mr. Hayne's convictions have now been quashed. All good, mate. You're innocent. You can go home now. Oh, sorry that we, wrecked your life and caused you and your family untold agony for 6 years while we played legal theoretical chess, but no hard feelings, hey? Oh, hang on a minute, that's not how our criminal justice system works. Oh no, we're quashing the conviction and ordering a retrial again. That'll be the fourth trial. The New South Wales Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, will decide whether or not there will be a fourth trial for the same alleged crime next month. One of the appeals court judges made it clear, though, that they did not think that putting Hayne on trial for a fourth time was in the interests of justice. But it's, of course, a decision for the DPP. Yes. Well, you take your time, lawyer people. It's only the life of a man we're messing with here. Actually, we can't comment on that too much because this specific case is technically still before the courts. But generally speaking, not related to this particular case, I'm just wondering, do we need to put some kind of limits on how many times a person can be tried over the same alleged crime? How many times in Australia do you need to be found not guilty of something before prosecutors are actually forced to stop prosecuting? Is there a point where prosecution becomes persecution? I've also noticed, generally speaking, that for most serious crimes in our country, the system seems to be a little too gentle on the accused and doesn't look after the victim so well. But when it's a sexual assault crime allegation involving a man accused of attacking a woman, we seem to be very keen to brush over the old presumption of innocence. Who cares about that? The man is supposed to be afforded the presumption of innocence, of course, but no. Now, I'm just making general observations here, of course. Returning, though, to the Hayne case itself, it's interesting to note that he would have been eligible for parole next May anyway. And at the rate this thing is moving through our fantastically efficient and effective and healthy legal system, it'll all be redundant by the time it's sorted out. What's that old expression, justice delayed is justice denied? Yeah, that hasn't applied for a very long time in good old Australia. It might be time to actually do something about that someday, legal eagles, don't you reckon? Or do men actually have to start marching in the streets like women have been doing for many years? If you enjoyed that clip, check out our website at othersidetv.com.au and sign up to join us in our 2025 mission to revolutionise Australian media. We're back with brand new content from Friday, January 24. There is a better way to view life than thinking that we're all victims who need big government to save us. Check us out, othersidetv.com.au. Here at The Other Side, we do not get more than $1 billion of taxpayer money like the ABC does to waste on fun stuff that we and our friends like while ignoring the public that we're supposed to serve. We have to rely on your support of this show. But I also hate asking for charity. So we've done a deal with what I think is the best VPN service in the world so that you can support this show and get excellent value for yourself in return. Private Internet Access VPN is a virtual private network. You download their app onto your phone, your TV, your computer, whatever you use, and it'll route all your data through a different server location so that you can't be tracked by the prying eyes of big government and big corporations. It keeps you and your family truly safe, and it will not massively slow down your internet speeds or make it harder to use your devices like some VPNs do. Private Internet Access, PIA VPN, is quick and easy to install, and once you've downloaded it, that's pretty much it. You can sign up using our special Other Side code for less than $3 a month. Unbelievable. That is a whopping 83% off the normal price, and you'll get the first 4 months free, and you will be helping our show a lot. So get onto it, piavpn.com/otherside to get the special deal. And get this, if you've got a Netflix account, by signing on through a server in another country to Netflix, like the US, for example, you'll get access to that country's library of Netflix shows on your account as if you were in that country, which is also great if you want Netflix in a different language or something. piavpn.com/otherside.